guys, thank you for joining me. If this is your very first time tuning in, let me introduce myself. My name is Cynthia. I am the creator and the founder of Crowns of Glory Collections. If you have a wig and you need to do some repairs or some maintenance to it and you don't know what to do, I've been talking to you all about the importance of the proper wig maintenance. Okay, so this really just happened. I talked to you about shampoo and condition, all those things, but with the wear of your wig, all of this just come with it, and even with the best construction of a wig, you're going to have times that you're going to have to go in and do some repairs on it. So a lot of times when people have things that happen to the lace, they pretty much just trash it. I want to encourage you to learn a skill that if something like that happened, you will have this skill and the knowledge of how to go in to restore or restore or replace, the area of the wig that it has torn or some of the hair is missing, you have a bald spot, different things like that. And if you get your wigs custom made with a wig designer, some of the wig designers actually offer maintenance programs, so you could look into that if you don't want to invest the time and the effort of learning this skill yourself. But I always want to show you, if you want to do it yourself, it is doable. You can do it yourself. It's not hard at all. So again, during my maintenance of my wig, I realized that part of my lace, if you see here, I have a hole right there. And if you go back and look at previous videos, I have actually shown you how I typically go in with a frontal. I will cut off maybe 1/4 of an inch of the frontal or the closure. And I do this in order for me to create more of a realistic hairline. So this is something I just decided to start doing instead of plucking. Okay, so that's why I started to do this. So with this wig, I did the same thing. I cut off 1/4. I attached some lace to it, and then I ventilate hair in that area where I attached the lace. But again, after shampooing and looking at the wig, I see that it was in need of some repairs. So what I'm gonna have to do, I was trying to decide if I could kind of like cut this, if you can see here, maybe here and here, and get a piece of lace and redo it. But I think what I'm going to have to do in order for it to really last longer, I'm going to have to go in and take all of this apart. So for ear to ear, I've done that. So, and if you notice here in the middle, and there was a hole right there, so I patched that. But here in the middle, because that's where my parting area is, I wear it in the middle on this straight wig. I did not like how the lace looked in this area. It just did not look natural. So again, I decided to go in, cut that out, and add lace. And then I went in and I ventilated hair just right there in that area. So it's not very much that I had to do. If you see here, like that is the actual frontal right there, and that's the lace that I joined to it, and I ventilated hair in those areas. Again, guys, you just have to think outside of the box. And I always say, if you can imagine something, you can actually create it. It is a wonderful skill to know how to ventilate, how to do your own repairs. It's going to save you a lot of time and also a lot of money if you know how to do things yourself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm just going to pull this apart, as you see here. That's what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to have to get my little scissors here. And because I really try to secure this lace to the frontal really good so I won't have these little situations. And it doesn't happen very often, but again, it just happen. If you know, just wear and tear of anything, it's just going to happen. So I'm going to go in here and cut, and I'm not cutting the frontal anymore. I'm cutting the lace off. If you see here, because I thought about actually just reattaching it, but when I saw that it has a hole right here in the lace, that's why I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. So I'm just going to take time and go in and remove that. See, it's just coming off. I'll pull that hair out. I just wanted to show you, you could do so many things with the skill of wig making. So you don't have to limit yourself. I know people, the only thing that they do, they don't make actual wigs, they just repair. So you will send your wig into them and they will repair it if it could be repaired. Sometimes it's just to the point, guys, hey, it's just better to just invest in a new wig instead of repairing it. Just costs less if you just get a new wig. But with this, I can salvage this. So I'm just taking my time. Okay. Kind of pulling on it a little bit. Okay. Almost off. Almost off. I'm trying to keep it in view so you can see exactly. So if you see this, so this is the part. So it's not a lot, but even with doing that, it makes a difference with the appearance of my wigs. And again, when I wasn't doing this, I had to really go in and pluck everything out. So this is hair that I've actually ventilated onto this in order for me to have that realistic hairline. Something as simple as this could, you know, change the look of your wig. Okay, so I took that off. So this is the lace that I'm going to use here. I have already tinted my lace, and I tint it before I even attach it to my frontal, because sometimes even before I construct the wig, I just go ahead and work only with my frontal or my closure, which actually I like doing better. But you know, when you have a wig and something like that happen, you got to figure it out. So this is the lace tint that I made myself. And I keep saying that I'm going to show you those steps and what I do to get my lace tint. So again, this is the lace. If you see here, I love the look of this. This is comparable to my skin tone. So, and I have different formulas. So I have different colors of lace tint. So again, I am going to do that one day for you guys, but I've already tinted that. The next thing I need to do before I even sew my lace to my frontal, you need to look at the holes. I don't know if you can actually see that or not, but they're very small holes, and that's what you're going to ventilate the hair in, those little holes. So you want the holes to actually lay horizontally, okay, not vertical up and down, but horizontal, okay, side to side. That you need to, because that's the way you're going to ventilate, and you want your hair to kind of lay around your hairline. So I typically make sure that my hose are going horizontally, okay? And because the measurement of my frontal after I, like I said, this is my wig, is an 11. So typically I probably do like a 12 just to give me a little playing room on each side, since I do like wearing my sideburns as well. So I just measure this out to around about sometime 11 and a half to 12, but no more than 12, because again, I don't want to waste my lace. Okay, so because lace is very expensive, and so I want to make sure that I'm able to use all of it if I can. So again, that will be my next step. Once I do that, I will cut it out. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out and get it all cut out, and then I will come back and show you the next step. All right. Okay, guys. So I decided to get my ventilating board. I know I haven't pulled this out to let you all see it in a while, but this is my ventilating board here that I created. And I just laid the lace down on the board. I have my ruler here because, like I said, I want to make sure that I'm accurate with my measurements. So again, I go to 12, which is right here. And I kind of took my channel marker and I just kind of sketched it out. So this is where we are right there. So I'm going to cut that area out. And then, and I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to have to ventilate that much hair. So from here to here, I just want to have a little bit extra so I could cut it around my hairline. Okay. And if you see here, I've actually used this lace. I've cut on it. And so that's why it looked this way, because I've actually used it and cut on it. Okay. Let's see. So let me cut this out. Okay, guys, so I have actually cut the lace out. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything like that. I promise you, it does not matter. You just need to make sure that you're going to have enough from ear to ear. Now, like I said, I know I have more lace on the other side. It really does not matter. And if you have been riding with me for a while, you know I do not like to be wasteful. If I could reuse, revamp, whatever, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to figure it out in order to do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to get my wig block here. So I'm going to put this off to the side and get my wig block and put my wig on my wig block. So what I'm going to do is go in and actually attach this just around here, just like that. Okay. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to attach this to this, and I will be right back. I'm not going to whip stitch it down. I'm just going to go ahead and just attach everything before I do that. All right. See you soon. Okay, guys, so the next step I've already completed. I've attached my lace. Actually, I just pinned it on the frontal of the wig, okay? So I have not went in and did any kind of whip stitching down. This is just my guide. So if you notice here, I took the lace and I attached it on the inside of the frontal. So what I'm going to do is now bring it on to my wig block. Now, this is just painter's tape. And the reason why I like using painter tape, because it's a contrast so I can really see. The holes on this lace is really small. So in order to help me see, this is going to give me that contrast of on the back of that lace. Okay, so that's the only reason why I have this painter's tape. If you could see and you don't have that problem, you don't have to worry about it, but I do. So what I'm going to do is put my wig on, back on to the wig block. All right, guys, so I have the lace attached to pin down to my frontal, so it has not been whip stitched down at all. You have to, and this is just part of the step, you need to make sure that you have everything pinned down, secured to the block in order for you to go in and whip stitch everything down. I recommend that you do this because you want everything to be really neat and very intentional with your stitching, okay? Because you don't want the stitch to be visible. You want it to be really undetectable. And to do that, you just need to make sure that you pin everything down and secure to the wig block, as you notice here, okay? So the next step that I'm going to do is get my thread, and I'm going to use my ventilating needle, and this is what you use in order to do the whip stitch. So this thread is very thin, like I told you before. It's very thin. I think you could kind of see it. But with this thread, I'm going to go around and I'm going to attach the lace to the frontal, okay? So I need to do that before I actually ventilate the hair on the lace, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. The size needle that I have to do my whip stitch is a size 2 needle, and I got this from Atelier Bosley. That's where I typically get all my ventilating tools from, okay? So gonna use my thread, and I like using this thread because it's so thin that it make it very hard to detect once you do it. So if you see here, I'm gonna bend that over. Okay, just like that. And I just start from one end and I just whip stitch it all the way around, okay? You can use a needle if you want to, and I've done that before because I did not know how to do it with a ventilating needle. So when I decide, to go ahead and learn how to do it, it works better doing it like this with the ventilating needle and doing the whip stitch instead of doing it with a needle and with this thread with a needle, okay? To me, it looks better and it lasts longer, okay? So if you can see here, let's see if I can bring you up closer. So I'll take my needle. I'm going to go through the lace and through the lace on the frontal, okay? I'm going to bring it all the way through, if you can see. And you're going to go 1 and 2 and bring it all the way through. Okay, so I brought that thread all the way through. So that's it. And this is actually my anchor stitch. So you need to make sure you do that. And you could go in and just cut this little piece off so it won't get in your way, okay? And guys, you just really need to take your time. I have in the past go in there and just cut a little of the, you know, thread just hanging off, and I have actually cut my lace and everything. So just make sure that you take your time. Okay. Bring it through. Okay. If you saw there, I did it twice before I brought it through. And when you ventilate, you need to make sure that you invest in some really good lighting, because it's going to help you. Last year I had some glasses made for me when I ventilate. Guys, they are not cute, but they work. It's just some old cheap frames, and so I didn't want to get designer frames or anything like that when I know I'm just having it. I just use it for this only. Pull it through. See, it's still hooked on there. 1, 2, and bring it all the way through. Okay. So this is what we call a whip stitch. And before, when I was using a needle and thread, I just thought that, hey, I could get away with it because it didn't take that long, as long as it does with this. But again, the payoff is worth doing it this way. It's going to take a little bit longer, but the look of it and the durability of it is much better. And just making sure that you practice. You have to practice, guys. Anything, you have to really get in there and practice. And that's going to help with your speed. Now, I don't have to ventilate. I don't ventilate all the time. So I think if I did it all the time, I would be much faster. But again, it's nothing I get in there and do on a daily basis. Okay. So I'm gonna speed this up, and I'm gonna keep going on around, and I'll check back in with you. do your stitch, you want to take a moment and kind of pull on it just a little bit, because I've had a situation where I went around and did the whip stitch, and then I had areas that I had actually missed. So that's why I take my time and kind of pull on it just a little bit, just to make sure that I didn't accidentally miss an area while I was doing the whip stitch. Trimming off these little ends of the thread. And you want to be careful so you won't cut your lace. All right, let's take it off. So again, you want to pull on it, make sure it's you didn't miss any areas of stitching it down. So there it is. Let's take it off the block. Okay. So now on the inside, where I went and I first use these pins on the inside of the lace to remove those. Make sure that is attached really good. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. I don't see any holes or anything like that, so that is good. So if you notice here on the inside, sometimes I go in and I actually cut that little piece off, and sometimes I don't. Let me see what I'm gonna do with this one. I think I am gonna go in and just trim that extra part off right here. So I'm going to do that. Well, especially the part that's hanging over this way, because if you notice, you'll be able to see it through there. I don't know if you can see that right there. Now, on this part, you really can't see it because it's on the back side of that. So just the part that's hanging over that I could see, I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to do that off camera because I really need to get close to this, because I don't want to accidentally cut this, which I have done in the past. So that's why I want to make sure that I get really close to it and see what I'm doing. So I will be right back. Okay, guys, so I've gone in to cut that area off, the excess lace on the inside. So I've done that without cutting my lace. Yay. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to secure it back down to my wig block, and then I'm going to start ventilating. Yay! So give me one moment. I'll be back. This take a while with the prepping it down because you want it to be really nice and secure down to your block while you're doing your ventilation, okay? So I will be back shortly. All right, guys, I got everything pinned down. And you can see how many stick pins that I end up using. So I actually use quite a bit of stick pins to try to make sure that it's all secure. Okay, so that's where we are. So the next thing that I'm going to do is actually do my ventilation. So before I do that, let me talk to you about the hair that I like to use. This is deep wavy hair, and I use this for my hairline. And if you can see here, so it is deep curly, but if you notice closer to the weft, you don't have a curl there. If you notice that, before, when I first start doing this, I will actually cut the entire thing and use all of that. But what will happen, because I start ventilating with this hair here, I end up cutting a lot of the curls off, which was defeating the purpose. So what I started to do, instead of doing it that way, if you notice here, I cut it at that, I leave that attached. Because again, I don't want to be wasteful. So I'm pretty sure I'll figure out something to do with that. So right here, where that bend, and I really want to sometime go through and just see which one is really curly. So I'll probably just cut that off right there. And I would use this. So what I would do is just rub through, because you have little short hairs in there. So I will go around and I'll start ventilating that around the hairline. Another thing that I do want to let you know, because this is a hairline, okay? you do not want to have a pattern for your hairline because your natural hair doesn't grow like that, okay? So you just want, it's no rhyme to reason, it's just really sporadic, but you want it to be thick enough so you can bring that hair around and conceal all of this, okay? And still have enough to bring down as well, really natural. So now, if you like the swoop baby hair, maybe you want it to be a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't like that. So again, what I do, I just go around and ventilate. And I'm going to show you every once in a while. I'm going to pop in and show you my progress. So you'll see exactly how's it going. But again, it does take time, guys, especially if you don't do this all the time. And I don't, because I don't have to. However, this is one of the things that I love to do to give me that realistic, natural look. That's, again, your hairline can make or break your wig. And that is it. If you know how to perfect that skill, getting your hairline to look like it's growing out of your scalp, you have nailed the game, okay? You got it. That is it. People don't care, that someone know that they have a wig, but you do not want it to look like a wig. Again, that's why a lot of people go and get their wig installed and they do the glue and they want to get it the lace melt down in their skin. That's why they do that. But because I don't want to get my wigs installed because I take them off every night, that's why I came up with this technique. It's really good for you to perfect all those techniques, ventilating, different things like that, because you'll be able to do different hacks that I've shown you. And I have a playlist that will show you different hacks that I've came up with in the past. So if you know anything about Cynthia, I don't like throwing things away because I always feel like one day God is going to give me an idea, ding, ding, ding. And if I don't have stuff available to me, I have to go and purchase some more things in order for me to try. This is, trial and error. Sometimes I do things and it doesn't work out the way that I want it to. So, hey, I lost some time, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning different techniques. And I do that because I want to be able to share with the Royal Nation different little tips and hacks. Again, guys, I'm going to pop back in, show you my progress on the way around. So typically I start at one side of the wig and I just work my way around. It doesn't matter exactly where, but again, I like doing it that way in different sections. That's just how my mind works, to let me see that I'm actually making progress. So, and that just helped me to stay on track. Again, showing you my progress. So again, I am on the right side. I have completed the left side on the right side now. So you see from here to the midline here. So that's how much more I have to go before this is completed. So again, I just wanted to pop in to let you see everything is going along. All right, guys, I'm back. I have actually finished, finished the hairline. So let me take it off of this wig block so you can see it better. Okay. That's it. That's it. Move this out right here. So if you notice, the hairline is curly because I typically use deep wavy or deep curly. This is deep wavy hair right here that I've used on this one. So what I'm gonna do next is secure the knots. So in order to secure the knots, I have typically what I do first, I will go around, and as I'm ventilating, I typically do this as well. But at the end, if I missed anything, I will go around and I will kind of tug on it in different directions to make sure that the knots are tight. Okay, so that's what I would do, and go around all around the hairline and do that. And then the next thing I would do, I would use my Got To Be spray, and I would spray it on the inside where those knots are, and then I would let it dry. I spray it usually twice, and then I let it dry. And also when I go in and mow down my hairline, the heat itself will help with that, to secure those knots as well. So, but let me go in. I just want to make sure everything is secure. And go to the other side. And as I go through, if I see that I need to ventilate more hair, I will do that as well. But right now, everything looks really, really good. Okay, so let me get my Got To Be spray, and I'm gonna spray on the inside of the lace. And then I'm actually going to put it on, and when I put it on, I'm gonna go around and trim off some of the lace. And it's not very much that I'm gonna have to trim off, but I just want to put it on and then trim it. And yeah, and then the next step after I do that, I would typically go in and mow everything down. This is how you need to recreate your hairline. So again, I just want to really encourage you guys to think about adding this to your tool belt as a wig maker, wig designer. Learning how to ventilate, learning how to repair your own wigs or frontal or closures or things like that, because it will save you a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of headache. Because if you get a wig and you really love your wig and there's nothing wrong with it, again, it's just all into having something. You need to take care of it to so it will last as long as possible, because again, guys, this is a great investment. So again, let me get my Got To Be spray and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so after I spray it twice with my Got To Be glue spray, and that's one of the things that I use in order for me to make sure that the knots on the ventilated hair is secure. That's the technique that I used in order to secure those knots and to make sure that they are tight. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this lace down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mow down the hairline. And another thing, guys, just making sure that you have enough hair to pull and to conceal, because if you notice here, it is a big difference. But if you mow your hairline down like it's supposed to, it will be very hard for anyone to be able to detect the difference. And this is the finished product. And until next time, guys, continue to wear your crown with confidence. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.